You know, I think this guy might like to skydive.
Welcome to Autobot Arcade.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Autobot Arcade here, bringing you another Transformers review. This time it's the Transformers Age of the Primes Deluxe Class Skydive. But before we get into the review, don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Autobot Arcade and Autobot Arcade Reviews. And now, without further ado, let's get into this review. As usual, let's begin with the packaging, and starting off with the front of the box, we have some nice renders of him down the side of the box with that open window so we can see the figure itself, and the Transformers Age of the Primes logo down the bottom with his name. On the first side of the box, we have the lineup of the 13 Primes. Hopefully we'll get to actually complete that pretty soon. On the back of the box, we have him in both vehicle mode and robot mode, and sporting his weapons as well. And on the final side of the box, we see him in a digital render of Superion. But now here he is out of the packaging. But before we take a closer look at the figure, who is Aerialbot Skydive?
Skydive was created by Vector Sigma. He was part of the Autobot project to counter the Decepticons' dominance in aerial combat. While the other aerial bots were designed for combat competence, Skydive was designed for tactical intelligence. His processors were loaded with huge amounts of historical data on warfare and battle strategy, making him a walking library of aerial combat maneuvers. Even though he transforms into one of the sleekest, fastest jet forms amongst the Autobots, Skydive's personality sharply contrasts with his appearance. He is analytical, strategic, calm, and sometimes reluctant to fly. He combines with the other aerial bots to form Superion, in which he usually becomes a leg. But no matter what form he is in, his role within the team is always the tactical brainpower.
And here we finally have him in robot mode. So if we just go in for a closer look, then we can see that this guy is actually a pretty nice figure. He is very much like Air Raid from the first wave of the aerial bots. He basically is just that figure, just slightly retooled. But he has a new color scheme and some new molded parts, and he looks great. The plastic, just like with Firefly, is not quite as good as the first few, but this guy's plastic is definitely not as bad as Firefly's. His backpack isn't too big or outrageous, and it is quite accurate from what I've seen. He's mainly a lot of blacks and greys, but he does have some red on the chest, and he has a lot of nice details all throughout. I do like the added detail that they put onto these guys just to make them look a little bit more interesting. Otherwise they are just really flat, and maybe that is a bit more accurate, but it's a bit plain and boring when playing with a figure. If we take a close look at the chest, we can see on one side he has the Autobot logo, and on the other side he has this sort of vent grill piece, which is pretty nice. And if we take a closer look at the head, it is still that sort of bucket design, but it's slightly different. It's more curved, which is pretty cool. It's black and the faceplate is orange with some light blue for the eyes. Just turning around for one more overview look at him, and he does look really, really cool. Inside of the box, as usual, we get the instruction manual. And as for accessories, we get these three. We get two of exactly the same gun, both cast out of black plastic. They look really nice, and they are actually different to the ones that Air Raid came with, unlike the guns that came with Firefly, which were just the same ones as Slingshot. These are different, and again, they do look really nice. There's some nice sculpted detail, but there isn't any paint on it, which is a bit of a shame, but it's something we're quite used to. And the other accessory we get is this fin piece right here. This is really nice. It's cast out of a grey plastic, but it's painted in blue with this yellow lightning bolt on it as well, which is really nice. And it is actually different to Air Raid as well, as he came with two. So I think it is the same mold, but we only get one, so the tail design is slightly different, which we'll take a look at closer in a second as well. And if we bring in the figure, then we can take the two guns and plug them into either hand, just like so, but they can also be attached onto the wings for some storage as well. And then if we turn him around, we can see he only has the one port, which is for the one fin right here. When you get him out of the box, you want to put it into him the wrong way round so that he can stand better. And if we do bring in Air Raid, then you can see that he came with 2, and it's not actually the same mold, I was wrong about that, but he came with 2 and this guy only comes with 1, so the parts for the back of the legs have actually been remolded, so they're not exactly the same, which is nice that they didn't just reuse that, as he is a different character. For articulation, the head can spin all the way around, the arms can come out this far and go all the way around as well. There is a swivel at the upper arm, and there is a single jointed elbow as well. There is no wrist articulation except for a hinge due to transformation. There is a waist swivel that goes all the way around, and the legs can come out this far, go back this far, and go forwards this far, and swivel at the top of the leg, and bend at the knee, and we have some nice ankle rockers as well. For some robot mode size comparisons, here he is next to the Transformers Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, the Transformers Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, the Gamer Edition Ratchet, the G1 Commander Class Optimus Prime, and now we have some of his aerial bot brothers. We have Air Raid and Slingshot, and the leader we have Silverbolt, and for some other types of figures we have the New Age Optimus Prime, the Marvel Legends Sam Wilson Captain America, and the Star Wars Black Series Shaq T. But without further ado, let's get down to transformation. And here we have him in his pretty cool looking jet mode. Again, it is very reminiscent of that Air Raid figure, but it does look slightly different. There is some remolded pieces up at the front and at the back with only the one fin, which looks nice. And I do think I prefer the color scheme on this guy. I like the grays and blacks, but I also like the bright highlights of the yellows and the blues, and obviously some red where the chest is showing through. The profile of this guy is pretty good, just like with Air Raid. It's not as good as Slingshot or Firefly, their profile is a lot better, but we always seem to have this problem with jet mode characters. A lot of it is just hanging on the underside of the figure. Going in for a closer look though, and again, he does look pretty cool. I like all the details along the tops, all the panel lines and whatnot, making it look just a little bit more realistic. And again, taking a closer look at the underside profile, it's not too bad. You can see the legs and the arms, but it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, and it is a jet. We do have some landing gear up at the front, which just folds away into the chest of the robot mode. The wheel doesn't roll, but it does stabilize him. He does need it. If you put him down without the landing gear out, he is just going to topple forward. And just taking a look at him from an aerial shot, he has a really nice profile. It's really sleek and a bit more pointier than Air Raid was, which I think is really cool. He has some nice yellow with the Autobot logos on the wings, and some nice blue and yellow on the fin as well. And even from the front here, it doesn't look too bad. It has a quite nice profile, and the cone piece does look great. And we have some jets up at the back for flight. If we spin him to the underside, we have ports on the underside of either wing, which we can use to plug in both weapons, just like this. And with these attached, he's ready to soar into battle and blow up some of those Decepticons. For some vehicle mode size comparisons, here he is next to the Transformers Rise of the Beast Bumblebee, the Transformers Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime, the Gamer Edition Ratchet, the G1 Commander Class Optimus Prime, some of his aerial bot brothers, we have Air Raid and Slingshot, and we have Silverbolt. And for some other types of figures, we have the New Age Optimus Prime, the Marvel Legends Sam Wilson Captain America, and the Star Wars Black Series Shaq T. And that's a wrap on our review of the Transformers Age of the Primes Skydive. Basically just a slight remold of Air Raid with a new colour scheme as well, and overall a nice figure. In my opinion, definitely a better figure than the last one we took a look at, Fireflight. That figure was just really gummy and loose, and the plastic didn't feel that great. The plastic on this guy doesn't feel as top notch as the first few figures in the Aerialbot lineup, but it's definitely not as bad as Fireflight. Anyway, before this guy starts up his engines and takes flight into the sky, don't forget to hit the thumbs up, click the subscribe button if you want to see more Transformers reviews, and if you did enjoy the video, why not leave a comment down below? I would still like to know how your guys' versions of these two figures have come out, whether they're as gummy as mine or whether mine is just a one-off bad batch. But with all that said, until next time, transform and roll out.